Mr. Camron, killer, killer come, yeah, killer come, killer come, killer come, killer come, I'm your killer come, yeah, oh my, yeah, yeah. Shout out to Killer. So this is a part of the Killer Cam Talks with Flea podcast. He had DJ Vlad on there recently. I got clips from recently about that. I can go check that out on my YouTube channel. This video right here is what I want to get into. So, Killer Camron asked Vlad TV what he thinks when people says he's police. On a Talk with Flea podcast. A little bit of backstory, Vlad TV, DJ Vlad has his platform that is, very successful. He does well for himself doing these interviews. People have accused him of being a culture vulture. I don't know if it's just because he's white or the type of content he does. People says he allows people to come on the platform and incriminate themselves. That is very tough to say because people are going to tell on themselves for clicks no matter what. We see that nowadays with a lot of podcasts. You go look at some of these West Coast podcasts. I'm not going to name drop. That should be enough for you to figure out what I'm talking about. There's a lot going on because of those shows. People get on there and for some reason forget that the internet isn't just a platform for their coast or their immediate vicinity. That shit is worldwide and it's not just for fans. Law enforcement is watching this shit too. So I could understand the side of a grown man coming on the show and giving it up and telling on themselves. And you're like, hey man, I didn't tell you to talk about that. You chose to. But some people have accused him of the line of questioning. It's leading questions. You know what I mean? When you're in court, they say you're leading the witness. When you're leading them to the answer you want them to give, but you're not directly asking it. We're going to play this and we can give some examples of maybe that. Let's go into it. Let's go.
What do you say to people who be like Vlad's police?
Look, when you look at, you're talking about 2008, right? For 17 years, I've been doing interviews. Mm-hmm. The only time I've ever heard one of my interviews being used against someone in a case was Keefe D. Okay. And that's not even happening yet because he's still awaiting his trial.
Right.
So I've always been very careful about avoiding statutes of limitations. Now, look, if you're a Freeway Ricky Ross and you did 20-something years about being a drug kingpin, you've earned the right to come out and talk about it.
Right.
Right? Now, if you have an open murder, I'm not going to talk about it. But in the case of Keefe D, he felt he had immunity. He wrote a book that was on Amazon at the time that we did our interview, and he wanted to talk about it.
Right.
So we talked about it, and that's the whole Tupac situation. Right. That's the only time I've ever heard of, anything that we've done being associated with an actual criminal case. But the rumors and the stigma are going to stick around.
No, you're right. It's because the reason I asked that's because I'm one of these people. Like for me, it's three things. It's like no raping women, no pedophilia, and no telling. For me, and before I put any of that on somebody, I got to see paperwork. I'm not one of them. Yo, he told this, that, and the third. So I understand where you're coming from completely. What do you say to people who...
We're going to play it again, but good response. Somebody in the comments said, well, he didn't say he isn't police. Shout out to bro right there. It's a lot that you can take from that answer. He does have a job to do. It is his business, his platform. This is how he feeds himself, his family. I don't know if he has kids or a wife. I don't really care. He has a platform. Just like I have this platform, I choose what I talk about. Like I tell you, I have 3 rules. Just like Killer said, no R-wording women, no pedophilia, no telling, no snitching. I have 3 rules too. I'm not going to talk about no active killings, no active court cases, following up on killings on the first one, and no street shit. It's just my morality and something that I know is real that I would never want to get into for the sake of content. You feel me? There's ways to talk about things without directly talking about that. Vlad has been accused of this a lot. Great answer, great question from Killer. But let's go ahead and get into some of the reasons why they may consider him a cop, why they consider him police. There's very famous interviews like this one. I want to see if I can find it. This is like the number one. example. Pee Wee Longway, Vlad TV. Let's see if it lives here anywhere on. It has to be. It has to be on somewhere on Twitter. Shout out to Pee Wee Longway, by the way. Damn, I can't. Pee Wee Longway. Why can't I find it? It's very popular. Let's see if we can find it somewhere else. Pee Wee Longway, Vlad TV. I just want to show y'all an example of why. Here we go. Here's one clip. It's on Instagrams. It's on Instagram. Shout out to this page. Whew. And here we go. What? This is not what I clicked. Let's see. I want to try to find it. YouTube. Here we go.
Okay, so the MP.
All right, here we go. So this is Pee Wee Longway dodges the Rico. Vlad TV questions. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the MPA name, was that around before you started rapping?
Yeah, that's how we came in.
Okay. Now, are you the founder of MPA?
Yes, sir.
MPA stands for?
What it stand for?
I'm
MPA.
gonna butt in here because
Google.
you've already addressed this before. Interview stands for money, pounds, and ammunition.
Power. Power, man. You gotta have
money,
power.
money, power, and ammunition.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So
See what
I
it
like
is.
it.
They talk about the music thing.
Yeah.
How many people are in MPA?
It's a lot of them, man. It's more than 10.
Can you break them down?
Hell no.
It's a lot of them, man.
Hell no, I
It's a
can't.
lot, man. I don't want a piece of mine.
Duke is one of the prominent ones, though.
He was. Duke still is MPA, man. With that being said, man, yeah, it still is a whole lot of MPAs out there. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so you can see suspect line of questioning. There's a couple others too, because that's just one interview with Pee Wee Longway on there. There's another one where he kind of gets into a little bit more of the same line of questioning. Let's see what else we can find. Let's see. Let's go ahead and watch this one, because this is the one I skipped off of because I didn't know if this was the right one. Let's see. Let's listen.
When I listen to your music and I look at your album covers and stuff like that, I'm seeing a lot of blue. The color blue seems to be very prominent.
It's a nice color, my boy.
It is a nice color. My favorite color, by the way.
It's a nice color. It ain't nothing like that.
Now, I assume there's a Crip thing going on?
Nah, just a nice color.
Whoa! See, it's a suspect question, bro. I mean, if we being honest, that's a suspect question. You could choose not to answer it. Shout out to Pee Wee for not answering it, but they even asked that question. You have a job to do, but if you're not really connected to the culture, if you're not from the streets, and I'm not claiming to be from the streets, I just grew up there. You know what I mean? Shout out to Queens. Shout out to the town. This is a Yankee fitted. I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm a Mets fan all day. You feel me? I'm from the town, though, so I'm going to support my city in any way that I can. I would never ask anybody anything that I know can maybe get them caught up, even if people want to know. And I'm going to probably ask it in a different way. To talk about a color and your album cover being certain, you know what I mean, and related to gang, hey, I would never do it. It's a wild line of questioning.
Just a nice color.
Yeah.
No cripping going on.
No, nothing. Just
No
a nice
nothing.
color. Just the scene. Themes
Okay.
and the scenes, man.
Okay. Growing up in that type of environment,
I'm going to let it play, and then I'm going to show y'all what he's talking to.
a lot of people start to hustle early. Like, how old were you when you first started hustling?
I wasn't hustling, man. I was a school guy, man. Going to school, handling my business, man,
You 100% legal? You were good?
Yeah.
I don't do no street
Doing everything
shit.
by the book?
Doing it by the book, man. Make sure it happen.
Okay.
Facts.
And that's the way to answer those types of questions. People get mad at me for asking, but then people answer how they gonna answer. You know what I mean? So when I get that type of answer, I respect that type of answer.
Right.
And for all the future rappers out there, y'all don't have to answer my questions. Y'all can answer it like Pee Wee Longway saying that, I ain't affiliated with none of that shit.
I don't do none of that shit. I'm just a rapper.
Right.
I respect that. That's what's up.
Wonderful answer. Wonderful response from Vlad. The only problem I have with that, however, is it's two things. And there's no excuse for anybody that does tell on themselves, because we see that happening now. They call that shit content. We got the content. My only issue, and this is not an issue because everybody has free will to do what they want. When you're an artist and you're trying to become successful, you're trying to become a household name, you want people to know who you are, you're on the platform. You may feel obligated to answer questions because the interviewer is asking you and you don't think they're trying to jam you up. But you do have to fucking cover your own ass and be smart and aware enough that just like he handled this and just like Vlad said, I don't know anything about anything. You can dodge the question. You don't have to answer it. I'm going to ask. I think the asking is what I have a problem with, but I do understand people that say, hey, man, grown men, they grown men. They don't have to answer, which is true. A lot of people be grown but young-minded. It doesn't make an excuse for them, but a lot of these people don't know better. Especially when Vlad was coming up with his platform. This is before social media became what it was now, you know what I'm saying? So, not that it makes it any more right, but it's a lot of eyes on this type of shit now, including law enforcement. So, you do have the obligation to yourself to not answer any of those type of questions, but I do understand. It's like, yo, why would you ask that question?
When I look at you,
and just so we can get into, you know, what he was talking about, let's just go into some of the mixtape and album covers so we can just, you know, reference. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? Blue Eminem. He like M&Ms. I mean, he might have Eminem as one of his favorite rappers. We don't know. We don't know. He just likes blue. It's a really good color. I love blue. Blue is my favorite color. You feel me? So that's that. Shout out to PB Longway. I think my man is coincidentally or ironically locked up right now. Yep, PB Longway reportedly among 101 people arrested in a connection to a massive drug bust in Georgia involving millions of dollars. This was last year, 2014, September 14. So, hey, there you go.